Welcome to a world of laughs where humor knows no bounds. Enjoyed your stay? Subscribe, hit like, and keep the chuckles coming. Remember, laughter is timeless. In the heart of France, a land known for romance, bravery, and passion, lived Pierre, a daring fighter pilot. Pierre, known throughout his squadron as the Fearless One, matched his reputation with a love for thrills, both in the sky and on the ground. Now meet Marie, a local beauty who shared his zest for life. Their love was as celebrated as Pierre's aerial feats. On one particularly glorious afternoon, Pierre decided it was the perfect day for a tranquil outing. He invited Marie to join him on a picnic by the river. The riverbank was the perfect setting for a romantic rendezvous. Picture this, a serene riverside, the air filled with the intoxicating melody of love. Amidst the soft chuckles and tender gazes, Marie, with a twinkle in her eye, asked for a kiss. Pierre, ever the comedian, splashed a bit of red wine onto Marie's lips, proudly proclaiming, "When I have red meat, I have red wine." The atmosphere was electric, charged with laughter and the sweet taste of Merlot. Marie, caught up in the whirlwind of romance, implored for a lower kiss. Pierre, without missing a beat, splashed white wine onto her chest, quipping, "When I have white meat, I have white wine." Their laughter echoed through the picturesque landscape, the excitement of their escapade growing with the wildness of their surroundings mirrored in their actions. The excitement of their escapade grew with the wildness of their surroundings mirrored in their actions. As the passion escalated and their hearts raced in unison, Marie, completely caught up in the whirlwind of romance, urged breathlessly, "Pierre, kiss me lower." Without missing a beat, Pierre grabbed a bottle of the finest cognac, poured it generously onto her lap, and with the precision of a skilled pilot, ignited a match, setting the cognac ablaze. In an instant, Marie jumped into the river. Resurfacing, she yelled in exasperation, "Pierre, what in the world do you think you're doing?" Pierre, standing firmly at the water's edge, responded, "I am Pierre, the fighter pilot. If I go down in flames." In a quaint little town where everybody knew everyone else, there lived a remarkable couple, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Their love story was the stuff of legend in this close-knit community. Through thick and thin, in times of prosperity and need, their bond had only grown stronger. They were about to celebrate 4 decades of marital bliss, 40 years of shared memories, laughter, tears, and unconditional love. Mr. Smith, a romantic at heart, wanted to commemorate this significant occasion with a perfect gift. He recalled how Mrs. Smith would always get a twinkle in her eye whenever they passed antique shops. She had a penchant for items with history and stories to tell. With that in mind, he embarked on a quest. He visited countless shops, spoke to numerous sellers, and even traveled to neighboring towns, all in search of a gift that would reflect the timeless nature of their love. After days of searching, he stumbled upon a beautiful brass oil lamp. Its intricate designs hinted at tales from centuries past. It seemed like the universe had conspired to lead him to this very artifact. With excitement in his heart, he purchased the lamp, picturing the joy on his wife's face upon seeing it. The day of their anniversary finally arrived. The Smiths were surrounded by the warmth of their home as Mrs. Smith delicately unwrapped the present. As she polished the brass oil lamp, a genie materialized out of nowhere, an air of majesty about him. Expressing his gratitude for being freed from his long confinement, he offered to grant them each a single wish. Mrs. Smith, her face glowing with excitement, wished for a grand global tour with her darling husband. The genie, with a snap of his fingers, made her dream a reality. Tickets appeared in her hand, outlining a lavish journey to the world's most beautiful destinations. Then came Mr. Smith's turn. He playfully wished for a younger female companion, hoping to add some spice to their golden years. But the genie, ever so crafty, had other plans. With a booming Shazam, the genie turned Mr. Smith instantly 93 years old, teaching him a lesson he wouldn't forget. In the quiet depths of the night, there strolled a man named Bob. It was the kind of night where the streets were so empty you could hear a pin drop, or in Bob's case, his own heart beating as he ambled back to his humble abode. Street lights flickered like distant stars, their light barely piercing the heavy blanket of darkness. Suddenly, out of the inky blackness, a figure emerged. It was a woman, her form just a whisper against the shadows. She stepped forward, her voice a sweet melody slicing through the silence. $20, she said. Bob, our sheltered hero, froze. He'd heard tales of ladies of the night, but never had he crossed paths with one. He hesitated, weighing the morality of the situation. But then, a wave of adventurous spirit hit him like a rogue wave at sea. What the hell, he thought, it's just this once. Thus, he agreed to her proposal. However, just as their secret rendezvous began, a harsh light pierced the darkness. It was blinding, sudden, and Bob had to shield his eyes. The light belonged to a policeman, his stern face barely visible under the beam of his heavy-duty flashlight. "And what exactly is happening here?" the officer asked. Bob, quick as a whip, responded with feigned indignation. "Officer, please! This woman is my wife!" The policeman, now as red as a tomato, stammered out an apology. "Oh, my apologies, I had no idea, please, carry on." Bob, still squinting from the flashlight's glare, retorted, "Well, to be honest, neither did I until you shone that light on her face." It's a peaceful Sunday morning. The townsfolk, dressed in their Sunday best, gather in the local church. The preacher, a beacon of wisdom and grace, imparts a moving sermon that leaves the congregation in awestruck silence. Among them is Rick, the town's most prosperous man. His success is the stuff of local legend, evident in his crisp suit and polished demeanor. As the echo of the preacher's words fades, Rick finds himself stirred to share a piece of his history. Rick begins to recount a pivotal moment from his past, the earning of his first dollar. He stands tall, his voice steady but filled with emotion as he dives into his tale. He speaks of the time when he was just starting on his journey, a young man with the fortune, or perhaps the test, of holding his first earned dollar, a humble yet significant achievement. He remembers how he found himself amidst a gathering much like this one, listening to a guest speak of his life's work helping others, providing for the less fortunate. His words, his passion, they moved Rick. But there he was, a young man with only a single dollar to his name. He faced a crossroad: keep the dollar or donate it, a cause far greater than his own immediate needs. After a deep inner struggle, he made the decision to give away that dollar, every last cent of it. The crowd reacts with a soft murmur of admiration. Rick concludes, convinced that his act of generosity was the seed from which his current prosperity grew. A profound silence envelops the church after Rick's emotional speech. Suddenly, amidst the sea of solemn faces, an elderly woman stands. Her frail frame belies the fire in her eyes as she locks gaze with Rick. She clears her throat, her voice echoing through the hushed congregation. "Rick, your tale is indeed inspiring," she begins, her voice filled with an unexpected strength. "But, can you repeat your act of generosity now, with your wealth?" With a daring twinkle in her eyes, the elderly woman says, "I dare you to do it again."
Imagine an old lady. She shuffles into a dentist's office. It's her turn. She sits in the chair, lowers her underpants, and crosses her legs. The dentist, surprised, exclaims, "Excuse me, but I'm not a gynecologist." The old lady, unwavering, replies, "I know. I want you to take my husband's teeth out."